As one of the youngest elected officials in the city of St. Louis, I have the opportunity to give back in ways I never thought possible. As a St. Louis Alderwoman, I love my city. I'm now on a mission to find young professionals who are committed to empowering and uplifting our city. These are the stories of hopeful young visionaries who inspire St. Louis. Growing up in a rough neighborhood doesn't mean that you won't have the opportunity to inspire others. Today we'll meet a young individual that made a conscious choice that he was going to make a difference in the lives of others.
Growing up here in the projects and back in the 90s, it was 10 times worse than it is now. I watched a lot of my friends get killed. I watched parents of some of my friends OD on drugs. My mother was a real bad alcoholic, and I was on the wrong path.
It can be quite easy to make the wrong decisions while growing up in a rough and tough neighborhood. But Jovan Hansman knew that he didn't want to be another statistic. He wanted something different for himself. And at a young age, he discovered a new program called City Faces.
I had never had a day where all of my friends sat down. There was no drive-bys, there was nobody getting up in the middle of class, going to make drug sales and come back. It was total opposite. We all had a chance to sit down and hang with each other and listen to somebody who could teach us something nobody else did. And this one stunned by me. This is my younger brother. I drew this picture of him. He doesn't look like that anymore. He got shot in the face. So I had a picture of him before he was shot, and I drew it so I can see him.
City Faces is an arts program based in the Clinton Peabody neighborhood of St. Louis, just located south of downtown. City Faces allows neighborhood youth the opportunity to develop skills in a safe and nurturing environment. Most of Jovan's friends, including his best friend Jeremiah, and both his brothers, all came here to express their inner talent, giving them a safe reprieve from their everyday life.
None of us knew our fathers, or they, I guess, pretty much ignored all of us altogether. And it was a chance for us just to kind of actually sit down and have fun and not be looking over our shoulders and everything. We all needed it. It was a blessing.
Jovan works here full-time now, carrying the title of art director, creating programs for the kids of City Faces. So how did a young boy, barely a teenager, live in a rough neighborhood surrounded by gang violence along with drugs, no father, and a mother who had been taken hostage by alcoholism, get to where he is today?
I think it has something to do with just his beautiful soul.
Bob Hansman, a professor at Washington University, was offered an opportunity to open City Faces in 1993. He had been involved in programs similar in the past, but this one was a little different.
I had just moved out of the city because of all the neighborhood drama, right? And then when I got a call to see if I wanted to do a program in the projects, it was a little bit, I mean, I was a little uncertain at the time, but I said yes for a number of kind of personal reasons.
Bob started his first summer art program in the late 80s on his back porch with some neighborhood kids. As the word spread of the program's success, he received calls to help start other art programs. When the Guardian Angel Association offered him an opportunity to start City Faces, Bob thought it would be a one-shot summer venture like the others. However, he had no idea what was in store for him.
Who would have thought I'd wander into the projects and find the person who was going to be the most important person in my life?
Well, I don't know where he came from, but he showed up down here, and 9 times out of 10, if we saw a white person down here in the project, they were either here to buy drugs or they were undercover police, and Bob was neither one.
When you're down here doing art, you realize what the kids' other needs are very quickly. You very much got the sense that this was the one place they could come and not look over their shoulders and not have to worry, and they could sort of be themselves. And because the minute they left, they went out the door, everything had to change again. The mask went on. And
the streets itself affected all of us, whether we were in gangs, whether we were selling drugs or whatever it was. The project was a part of all of us individually.
The kids here had no idea Bob or City Faces would make a difference in their life. They simply wanted a place to hang out where they felt safe and knew no one would get hurt. But as the program grew, the kids became more attached to Bob, and he became more attached to them.
When Bob was around, everything was fine, but when he left, there's no telling what any one of us would have done. He took time off to come down here, and he could have been doing something else. He came down and actually treated us all as his kids. His heart was in the right place from day one.
Bob had built a very strong bond with the children of City Faces, especially with Jovan and his best friend, Jermaine.
Jermaine's the other human being that when I try to talk about him, it's very hard.
He was my guardian angel. He was the only person that I've ever known in the project that never sold drugs, wasn't in the gang. I mean, he went to school, did his homework, and he really did all the right things that people down here don't do.
He was in the program the first year with Jovan, and he's one I did notice because he was my peacemaker. That when the kids would fight with each other with me, Jovan would be the one to step in and say, just, don't wreck it for everybody. And it was very clear that he had everybody's respect in a very quiet way. I learned at some point that he had sickle cell. I had looked to Jermaine as kind of my right arm in the program, as my bridge to the other kids. Jovan had looked at Jermaine as kind of a stable environment and family and role model, peer role model. And when he went, a large part of Jovan and I went.
When he died, a part of the program died, and I thought that was it for Bob. He took it real hard, but I couldn't take it no more. So after Jermaine's funeral, I asked Bob, could I come out Garden State for a while to get away from the projects?
I mean, I literally thought he meant for the night.
1 week turned into a month, and 1 month turned into 3 months, and
he just kind of stayed a few days, and then kind of stayed some more. And after a couple of weeks, I just said, would you like your own room? And he said yes. It went from a very awkward, what do we say to each other kind of relationship, to one where we started talking more and more and became each other's best friend. Over the years, we've been like, teacher, student, father, son, roommates, parent, I mean, just everything. Now, business partners, so to speak. But he came in one day after he'd been living with me a couple of years and just asked if I ever thought of adopting him. And it was so funny because I had thought of it, but I'd never brought it up because I thought, oh, God, it's probably just me, And when it finally got out in the open, we were both thinking the same thing. It was like, oh God, of course, this is obviously where we're heading. And so it was very exciting and easy, everything after that.
It's been 17 years since Jovan first walked through the doors of City Faces. He came back to help kids like Bob helped him.
Jovan Hansman, he just take us places like on field trips and stuff so we can do good things.
Jovan plans field trips for the kids and continues to implement several programs, including hip-hop dance lessons, martial art classes, nutrition courses, and a tutoring program in coordination with Washington University.
So what we've been able to do is bring down students twice a week in carpools. We work with them on their homework, and we've also kind of molded the program into basically we have math races, we'd have like reading races and things like that.
It's obvious when you look around here that Jovan is making a difference.
It changes lives, it saves lives. It saved my life and changed my life. So I'm hoping if it doesn't work for all of the kids, maybe just one.
I feel incredibly grateful to him, the wife, to whatever it was that brought us together, because he's completed me, I think, in a sense.
City Faces is obviously making a difference here in the city of St. Louis, and Jovan's story is living proof of that. If you would like to be a supporter and help the progress of City Faces continue, please make sure you call City Faces today. And also, if you know of a young St. Louisan that should be featured next on Inspire St. Louis, make sure you Facebook me or tweet me. They could be our next feature on Inspire St. Louis.